Well, hello, it is the asshole again. Once again I have to try and fix the misinformation being spread from the media. This morning it was reported that 2 forensic audio specialists examined the voice in the background on the 911 recording. I have heard at least one news source report that it is Trayvon Martains and not Zimmerman's voice screaming for help. This is false and should not have been reported in that way. The truth is the voice analysis states there is a 48% chance that it is Zimmerman. They also say there is a 0% chance it is Martin as there is no audio to compare it to. So once again the media is fueling this racial unrest with misinformation. I do not currently own any biometric voice analysis software, so I cannot conduct my own research. Also, without a sample of Trayvon's voice to compare it is a ridiculous point. 48% is 100% more than 0%, which 0% represents Trayvon's voice. The experts state that they would expect a higher percentage if it was Zimmerman, but did NOT say I definitely wasn't Zimmerman or that it was definitely Martin? The truth is that it is inconclusive, as so many other things have been so far. Quote taken from the Orlando Sentinel. Owen, a court-qualified expert witness and former chief engineer for the New York Public Library's Rogers and Hammerstein Archives of Recorded Sound, is an authority on biometric voice analysis, a computerized process comparing attributes of voices to determine whether they match. After the Sentinel contacted Owen, he used software called Easy Voice Biometrics to compare Zimmerman's voice to the 911 call screams. I took all of the screams and put those together, and cut out everything else, Owen says. The software compared that audio to Zimmerman's voice. It returned a 48% match. Owen said to reach a positive match with audio of this quality, he'd expect higher than 90%. As a result of that, you can say with reasonable scientific certainty that it's not Zimmerman, Owen says, stressing that he cannot confirm the voice as Trayvon's, because he didn't have a sample of the teen's voice to compare. Forensic voice identification is not a new or novel concept. In fact, a recent U.S. Department of Justice Committee report notes that federal interest in the technology has a history of nearly 70 years. So there are a few things I want to comment about the audio that you hear. One is that Zimmerman has a high-pitched voice and is quite similar to the voice you hear screaming. There is a good chance it is his voice there. Second is the lack of Martin's voice to compare. 48% is much higher than 0%, and if we can get a sample of Martin's audio there is still a chance it will be even less of a match. Martin may have had a deeper voice and sound different, but we don't know. When I took the screams and isolated them and compared to Zimmerman's 911 call, the wave patterns were very similar. However, I am not an expert with expert software. Third is why there was so much screaming. If Zimmerman just was racist and shot Martin down, there would have been no screaming. To me, the numerous screams validate the claims of an assault by Martin in a struggle for the gun. It sounded like to me that somebody was being assaulted and fearing for their life. Conclusion: until we have a voice of Trayvon Martin to compare audio with, we can only say that it is more likely to be Zimmerman's voice, despite the numerous reports that say otherwise. I hope that we will eventually learn the answers, but to say that it is not Zimmerman is still a speculative conclusion. Without Martin's voice it is no contest. Lastly, when people scream it is rather different than when they are just talking. I still think the sound on the 911 audio is Zimmerman and will do so until more conclusive results are attained. For Martin's voice to be lower in timbre and more robust, although I would have expected Zimmerman's to be deeper as well. So there you have it, scientific certainty that it is not Trayvon's voice, but 48% chance it is Zimmerman's. Do not jump to conclusions. That is dangerous. The audio expert has jumped to the conclusion that it is not Zimmerman's voice even though he has not compared with Trayvon's. So once again I say wait for all of the facts. This has been the Asshole reporting for the Asshole channel. Thank you for your quest for the truth.